Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and restless firestarter, Sally's worst fears about Phyllis's retribution are about to be realized. It sent a chill down our spines to hear Phyllis threaten Billy on Young and Restless, and we weren't the only ones. Sally was hella concerned about what shape her fellow redhead's retribution might take, and with good reason given her track record. But what can she possibly do to hurt them? The better question would be, what can't she do? Phyllis, as we've all witnessed, is a loose cannon at the moment. A loose cannon loaded to the hilt with explosive projectiles, and Billy and Sally just lit the fuse. Phyllis is on the verge of a massive meltdown of the psychiatric variety after being held captive by Martin Laurent and tortured like a lab rat along with Sharon. Add her anxieties surrounding Daniel into the mix, and you've got a veritable Molotov cocktail ready to go off. Making matters worse, there's no one monitoring the volatility of this developing situation. Daniel's keeping his mother at arm's length. Summer's gone overseas. Billy's washed his hands of his former partner, and while Nick checked in with Phyllis, she pasted on a smile and assured him everything was great. He didn't see through it. So here we are, where the only person who seems to have any sense of the impending disaster is Sally. Phyllis was already spiraling wildly when Billy cut her loose from the fabled Abbott Communications, but finding out he had replaced her within minutes with his girlfriend Sally, who she also blames for sending Summer out of town, was the straw that broke the proverbial camel's back. We're used to Phyllis yelling, "It's when she gets quiet that we really need to start worrying." And that's exactly what happened when, in an exceedingly calm and terrifyingly direct voice, she warned Billy that he would come to regret what he'd done to her. So, what can she do? Well, there's really no boundaries when you're Phyllis, so the answer to that is, what can't she do? She could find numerous ways to sabotage Abbott Communications, we're certain. Aside from her world-renowned hacking skills, she certainly won't be shy about getting into bed with unsavory types to take her revenge. She could work with Adam against Billy, or even expose Billy's true agenda, to work with Dumas to take Chancellor back from Victor, to undermine him. Phyllis's takedown, if successful, would not only ruin Billy, but also Sally, who inexplicably walked away from her dream career opportunity at Marchetti to hitch her wagon to her boyfriend's latest endeavor. Speaking of secrets, Sally has no idea that Billy plans to do battle with Victor again. There's no question that if she did, she wouldn't have accepted Billy's offer. She learned not to tangle with the mustache, who despises her, whilst involved with Adam. Moreover, Billy had promised his girlfriend that he was done with all of that. Phyllis could throw a real spanner into the works of their relationship and partnership by revealing to Sally what's in store for her as Billy's right hand. Phyllis already has ammunition. She'll just have to plot the best way to detonate it. Whatever she decides, one can be sure that Sally's worst fears about the redhead's retribution will soon come to fruition. The fuse has been lit, and Genoa City's most combustible rivalry is about to erupt in a spectacular blaze that could consume careers, relationships, and reputations alike. On the young and the restless, few dynamics have smoldered with as much delicious tension and unpredictable volatility as the one between Sally Spectra and Phyllis Summers. Two redheads, two self-made women, two relentless, fearless powerhouses with a shared talent for reinvention and an even greater flair for revenge. But now, Sally's worst nightmare may finally be coming true. Because Phyllis isn't just irritated, suspicious, or casually plotting anymore. She's laser-focused. She's calculating. She's hungry for payback. And she's about to deliver a masterclass in retribution that could reduce everything Sally has built to ashes. The game is on, and Sally Spectra may not even realize she's already in checkmate. Chapter 1. History Lesson in Hellfire. Phyllis and Sally have always danced on a razor's edge. From the moment Sally sauntered into Genoa City with that trademark firecracker energy and a chip on her shoulder the size of the Grand Phoenix, she locked eyes with Phyllis, and the sparks weren't flirtatious. They were combustible. At first, it was professional turf war. Sally was ambitious, calculating, and gunning for power. All things Phyllis both recognized and loathed in someone who hadn't earned her stripes. But it quickly escalated into something far more personal. Phyllis saw a younger version of herself in Sally, and she hated it. Because where Phyllis carved her path through betrayal and heartbreak, Sally walked in with a smile, stole hearts, Jack Abbott's among them, and acted like she belonged. That was unforgivable. And for a time, it seemed like Phyllis's threats and interference had worked. Sally lost her position, her relationship, and her allies. But just like her namesake from the bold and the beautiful, this Spectra never stayed down long. She reinvented herself again. In business, in love, and in life. Now, she's seemingly on steadier ground. She's with Adam Newman for now. She's making waves in design. She's even trying this strange thing called playing nice. But niceties mean nothing when Phyllis Summers decides it's your turn to burn. Chapter 2. The trigger that lit the match. So, what flipped the switch for Phyllis this time? A little birdie in the form of a mutual frenemy whispered something that made Phyllis pause. Sally Spectra is circling back into relevance. She's back in Adam's orbit. She's getting backers. She's regaining traction in the Genoa City elite. And worst of all, she's doing it with poise, grace, and that infuriating Spectra sass. Phyllis, still reeling from her own battles with Tucker, Diane, and the consequences of her recent morally gray escapades, needs a win. And taking Sally down permanently would be a satisfying reminder of her dominance in a town that forgets far too quickly who runs things. There's also the matter of perception. In a post-fake death Genoa City, Phyllis is struggling to regain her credibility. Targeting Sally, a known provocateur, could be framed as public service. And Phyllis has the means, the motive, and the memory. She hasn't forgotten how Sally tried to manipulate Summer out of a job, or how she played Jack, or how she nearly destroyed Lauren's trust in her. Retribution isn't just personal, it's poetic. Chapter 3. The calm before the firestorm. Sally, for her part, senses the shift. She may be a lot of things, impulsive, emotional, occasionally overconfident, but she's not stupid. She knows Phyllis has that look in her eye again. That barely concealed smirk. That tone that pretends to be civil, but sounds like a loaded gun cocking under the table. She's seen Phyllis operate before. Charming, scheming, striking fast, and then acting offended anyone would accuse her of wrongdoing. And it's making Sally restless. Her usual allies are preoccupied. Adam is knee-deep in Newman messiness. Nick has distanced himself. Chloe is dealing with family drama. Even Jack, her one-time almost partner, is firmly Team Phyllis when push comes to shove. Sally knows she's walking on a minefield. But what she doesn't know is that Phyllis has already planted explosives beneath her every move. Chapter 4. Phase 1. Character Assassination. Phyllis knows a frontal attack won't work. Sally's made too much progress in recent months. She has a growing fashion platform, she's kept her nose clean, and she's curbed the more Spectre-esque elements of her behavior. So Phyllis starts quietly. Whispers. Misdirection. Carefully place concerns in the ears of influential people, Lauren, Victoria, even Nikki. Is Sally really reformed? Or just biding her time? I heard she's planning a hostile relaunch of Marquette West. Someone told me she's still talking to the press. None of it's provable. All of it's believable. Within days, Sally's inbox is filled with awkward questions. Her meetings suddenly get rescheduled. Her pitch for a new fashion line mysteriously stalls at the executive level. She knows it's Phyllis. She just can't prove it. And that's exactly how Phyllis likes it. Chapter 5. Phase 2. Personal sabotage. If there's one thing Sally fears more than professional ruin, it's heartbreak. Her relationship with Adam has been a slow, stormy build of pain, longing, and unresolved tension. Just as they begin to rediscover their rhythm, Phyllis strikes again, this time where it will hurt most. She drops an anonymous tip to Chelsea, suggesting Sally is using Adam as a stepping stone, just like she did with Jack. Then, she manipulates a run-in between Sally and Nick, knowing full well that any picture of them together will set off alarm bells. Then, the piece de resistance, a conveniently leaked email, doctored, of course, suggesting Sally is shopping around a tell-all memoir about her time with the Newmans. Adam is shaken. His trust in Sally, always fragile, starts to crack. Their foundation begins to crumble. Sally is stunned. She thought they were finally okay. Phyllis doesn't need to pull the trigger. She just has to aim the gun and let gravity do the rest. Chapter 6: Retaliation, or Ruin. Cornered and confused, Sally does what Sally does best. She fights back. She starts digging, talking to old friends, tracing digital footprints, trying to out-Phyllis. But Phyllis has anticipated this. She's already created enough chaos to make any retaliation look like guilt. When Sally tries to confront her publicly, Phyllis plays the victim card to perfection. Why is she obsessed with me? I'm just trying to run my hotel and mind my business. It works. People start whispering about Sally's stability, that she's unraveling, that maybe Phyllis was right all along. Even Summer, who has worked so hard to build her own fragile truce with Sally, starts pulling away. Sally is not just losing ground. She's losing control. Chapter 7: The Embers of Identity. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Sally reflects on who she's become. I've tried to change, she confides in Chloe. I've been changing. But every time I start to feel like I belong, someone drags me back into the mud. And Chloe, ever the truth teller, replies, then stop letting them drag you. Stand up. Own who you are. You're Sally Spectra, damn it. You built yourself from nothing. You survived LA, Jack, the Newmans, a miscarriage, and 1,000 second chances. Don't let Phyllis steal this one. It's a turning point. Sally begins plotting not just revenge, but redemption. Chapter 8: When the match meets the fuel. Phyllis may think she has the upper hand, but she's underestimated just how much Sally has learned from her. Because the student is no longer content to just play defense. Sally reaches out to an unlikely ally, Diane Jenkins. Together, they craft a plan, one that not only exposes Phyllis's meddling but also forces her to confront her own hypocrisy. They gather receipts, track inconsistencies, leak the truth strategically, not in a way that screams revenge, but in a way that asks questions. The court of public opinion starts to shift. Maybe Phyllis is the problem. Is Sally really the villain, or just the scapegoat? And Phyllis, for once, is left scrambling for cover. The hunter becomes the hunted. Chapter 9: Phoenix, Oregon Ashes? The battle isn't over. If anything, it's just getting bloodier. But Sally has done the unthinkable. She's weathered a storm that would have broken the old her. She's learned to bend, not break. To strike with precision, not passion. To take the hits and come back smarter. And Phyllis? She's forced to reckon with something she never expected. Sally Spectra might just be her equal. Not because she's better, but because she's been forged in the same fire. Two women, two tempers, two burning brands. But only one will emerge from the smoke still standing. And as May sweeps near its apex, fans are left on the edge of their seats wondering, is Sally's rise unstoppable, or is Phyllis just pausing before her deadliest move yet? One thing's for certain, Genoa City has never seen a firestorm like this before. And when the smoke clears, everything and everyone could be changed forever.